Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hello. This is HQ in the house. I got a flu and the nose is running. That I just look wild today, right? But I wanted to come on here and talk about this one thing that I saw the other day. I could not believe what I was looking at. I could not believe that this is what was going on still in 2021. I was almost embarrassed. I couldn't even believe it. Hold on.
You have to turn yourself into the ultimate warrior princess of Wakanda.
Don't scare me like that, colonizer.
While we thought we could get through another Halloween without anyone doing blackface, we have to talk about this one. After watching that, if you're thinking, it's not that deep, no one cares, you've already fallen for one of two traps in that video. Because the power of stereotypes isn't that they're always overt, it's that they don't have to be. She starts out by framing this monologue as if she's going to give helpful advice to black women.
You must wake up with that mindset, okay? Like white girls have to manifest things, you have to manifest too.
But it's really a mock tutorial that, one, reduces black women to fighters in spectacles.
Just, you people fight every day.
Two, portrays women as animalistic, hyper-aggressive, and responsible for their own oppression.
By the way, half the struggles that black women think they face, it's of their own fucking doing. Running around in nails like this, running around in earrings like this, you people—
Three, fetishizes black women's bodies.
Black women fight, they're always naked. And I don't know if they're trying to intimidate their partner by their glorious body, or if they are just a victim to their clothing choices.
And four, equates femininity and adornment with moral and physical failure.
Do you see warriors glammed up? You must wear earrings that are small. You must never wear weaves. Weaves can be grabbed and pulled. To any of the black females angry at me in the chat, I just gave you the best—
Now, the fake self-help tone is key. It's not about advice, it's about humiliation. Specifically for the It's Not That Deep crowd, did you know that the Sapphire stereotype emerged in the mid-20th century and was popularized by the character Sapphire Stevens on the radio and TV show Amos and Andy? And that character drew on much older caricatures of black women as loud, domineering, and emasculating from slavery, Jim Crow, and minstrel traditions. And over time, it became one of the foundations of what we now call the angry black woman trope. The function of the ABW stereotype is simple but effective. It invalidates black women's anger by framing systemic harm as personal failure. However, by calling black women
warrior princess of Wakanda,
she attempts to reference the black empowerment and Afrofuturism of Black Panther, but then uses it to mock black women's strength as aggression. She's not critiquing, she's misquoting the culture. And she didn't lose the plot because she never understood it. Because strength, something black women often need just to survive, becomes proof of aggression to her. That's classic Sapphire logic. But here's the second trap. Anytime a black woman dares to critique a video like this, even lightly, she's cast as the angry villain in someone else's script. Black women and the community as a whole shouldn't have to choose between silence about racism or punishment for naming it.
That's wild. I couldn't believe the shit I was seeing. I could not believe the shit that I was seeing. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, y'all? What the hell is going on?
Like, this lady has no shame. Like, literally.
Let alone how incredibly effective this is.
This is so wild.
It's not a face
I'm so sorry. This is so shameful. This is so shameful. Like,
we don't. Sorry.
That's like wild to me that you would be out in public. But then again, I had to explain it, and we say it on this channel all the time. People keep saying racism is not around. We don't have racism.
On Halloween,
it's live and
on the
well.
screen. And when she gets on the screen, her entire face is black. I said, what? Why are you dressed like a roach? Well, apparently, she wasn't dressed like a roach. I said, what? What the hell was that? That was blackface. Yeah. I said you didn't do a good job. Not if I thought you were a roach. Yeah. So I did some investigation, and I go to her profile. She posted a follow-up video. This time she wasn't
Stop that shit, John Patrick. Stop that shit.
dressed like a roach. I said,
Only somebody that's white would say some shit like that.
"Oh, you're a white lady? Oh, yeah. I thought it was a bad day or something."
And you know what you got to do? What you got to do is show me where you see black people online with white face, pretending to be white people in a crazy way like they did this October, this Halloween.
She said that during Halloween, everybody dresses up as the scariest thing that she can think of. And I said, "A roach?" No. She said it was...
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
Yeah.
Jesse.
I'm like, that's not a very good costume.
Yes. Hey,
Not if we thought you were a roach. So then,
why would you even get on there and do that? That's the whole point. Why would you even think it's something that you're supposed to be doing? I don't understand why you thought that was interesting to do.
Nigga, y'all niggas hate black people for real.
So influencer Brittany Venti just went full 1800s this Halloween, painting her face.
And you see this silly shit right here. This is actually a black girl. This right here is actually a black girl on here doing all of those things. Okay. No, leave him alone. He okay. He okay. They don't understand. They don't understand. They'll figure it out. I don't listen to zombies. They zombies, Jesse.
Jet black, holding a box of fried chicken and captioning it when that
This is a black girl.
EBT hit. Yeah, that's where we're at in 2025. People tried to defend it as just a joke or compare it to that viral Drewski skit, but this isn't parody. This is history repeating itself. Back in the 1800s, white actors smeared shoe polish on their faces, drew cartoons.
That shit was wild even back then. And now you got people doing that shit? You got people doing that shit now. This shit is fucked up. Listen, look at this shit right here. Look at this shit right here.
I have made so many videos and erased them, but this is it, okay? I'm gonna tell you the first thing that came to my mind was the amount of effort that it took to make that.
You hear the retard John in the chat. Y'all see the retard John in the chat. He don't see that his people are on here in these costumes. But he's talking about us black people always keep racism going, and yet he's got his degenerate family on here doing this stuff. You notice that he ain't called them out and said that shit was wrong. He out here trying to defend the bullshit. You see that? You notice the shit? You notice the bullshit.
They had to plan that, find that goofy track, and then they had to paint their arms and their neck and their chest and their ears and their face and their eyes and their nose.
Right.
And put those outfits on and hop around for a 10-second video. And the only intention behind that is to hurt people. I'm sorry. That is unhuman. Like, that is a narcissist to the core, because you're not putting yourself in those people's shoes. Like, and I know that you're like, well, get over it, whatever. It's not that it's gonna like make someone cry, because I mean, black people are so used to white people being an asshole, but like people are just scrolling and that came across my feed and I'm like, am I dreaming? Like, what is that? And why is it still up? Like hours it took to paint that, days it took to plan that, just to put it on a website or a platform to offend black people. And it's Jim Crow, it's not even new. And they're giggling, it's not cute.
I'm like, he's right. He said it took hours for you to plan that shit. It took days for you to plan that shit. It took hours for you to paint that shit on. And you get on here just to offend another group of people. That's wild to me. That's wild. Look at this shit right here. Look at this shit right here. This gonna blow your mind.
Tender chicken, sweet corn, tomato salsa, and a disrespectful amount of guac, period. I'm in the park right now, but I really wanted to respond to this gorilla AI black girl real nonsense that's been hitting the internet as of late. And really what it is digital minstrelsy. If you don't know what minstrel shows were, they were different shows where white performers would dress up in blackface and mock.
Yeah, people out there doing shit like that. That's wild to me. That's wild. Let me see. No, wait a minute, hold on.
We got fluffy rice, black beans, tender chicken, sweet corn, tomato salsa, and a disrespectful amount of guac, period. I'm in the park right now.
That's wild. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. And people get on here and say, white folks ain't fucking prejudiced. That is some of the wildest shit I ever seen in my life. I ran across that shit yesterday and I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And we got this shit going on right now.
Relations in America will be resolved once poor white people realize that rich white people fucked them over too, and that it wasn't immigrants or black people. There's a reason that West Virginia and the Appalachian Mountains and the Midwest have all been abandoned. And it's not because of black people or Mexicans or Jews. It's because other white people, rich capitalist billionaires, took advantage of you, worked you into the ground, and then abandoned you when there was better pasture. It wasn't other poor people who fucked you over. Donald Trump is not a Jewish man or a black man. Elon Musk is not a black man. Jeff Bezos is not a Jewish man. They're capitalists. Fight back against your real enemy. The left is with you. Blacks, Mexicans are with you. You need to be with yourself. White man, fight back.
That's wild to me, right? And people say, do we have a post-race world? Do we? No, we don't have a post-race world because we have shit like this going on. We have shit like this going on. Right? If we had a post-race world like white folks keep saying, racism wouldn't be shaping a whole bunch of opportunities and treatment and all kinds of shit and outcomes. And all of that shit is based on skin color. And we get it. There's no outward legal segregation. The hard ER and all that kind of crazy shit. We still have major, wealth gaps and shit like that. Housing, education. There's still redlining. Okay, redlining still happens. The average household, white household, still has several times more wealth than the average black household does. Black people are still more than likely getting denied loans, getting harsher sentences for prison for the same crimes, and who live in under-resourced schools and hospitals and neighborhoods. These are structural, systematic things, not individual. But when I say we got structural, we have systematic racism, I know we still have that. But to run into people doing this stuff deliberately, coming out in blackface, we still have racism here, and you have white folks still doing racism. Those group chats told us there was people who still did racism. We as black people know that. But see, you know what? The past couple years, people have been trying to gaslight black folks. Black people play the victim. They play the victim. They wanted to do the victim thing. No, bitch ass niggas. We see stuff like this, and we know that it's still racism here in the world. We know that because of shit like this. Okay? And people think just because you want racism to be over, that don't mean it's over. You white folks need to be talking to y'all white folks. Y'all white folks need to be talking to y'all white folks. Okay? Because y'all still have white people acting on the bullshit like this right here. This kind of shit should never happen in 2025. Okay? And people say, oh, is it victimhood? We got post-racial. It ain't racial. Yes, it is. It's post-segregation laws, but it ain't no post-racial reality, because we still got a racial reality. Okay? People still doing dumb shit out here like this. Ain't nothing about that funny. Okay? And I recall Charlie Kirk saying, oh, it ain't no racism out here. Ain't no racism going on. Ain't nothing like that going on. He denied that it was systematic and institutional racism in the United States. And I know for a fact that it is. Okay? He said the idea of white privilege is a myth. You're white boy. You don't know the privilege that you got. You just walking around in the world without a care and concern. The rest of us don't. Because of people like this. Because of people doing blackface and bullshit like this. We know y'all still feel like that. We know you do. So when a white person say it ain't no race, we know you lying because you just don't talk to your uncle. Because your uncle on some bullshit. We know your uncle feel like that. Maybe you don't, but your uncle do. And your uncle and your auntie is doing shit like this in the middle of the night. Okay? Charlie liked to argue about the DEI, diversity, equity. He even got a bunch of y'all goofies out there thinking that shit, we don't need that shit. This right here, this blackface shit should tell you, we still have motherfuckers who think that they're better than black people. That's called racism, people. That's called racism. By all means, Charlie didn't say that racism didn't exist. He just said there's individual racisms, but America's systems and society are not racist or not systematic, which is a lie. Okay? The whole point is this. When someone says there's no racism in America, it suggests that that person is in denial or of any kind of racial problem whatsoever. And we got plenty of racial problems here because we got goofies doing this shit. Okay. Charlie said there was racism, but there wasn't systematic racism. Yes, it was. I'll just show you about the redlining in a minute. Okay. There's still redlining. And for most of y'all, let's talk about the redlining. Because most of y'all probably don't. I don't know whether you know or you don't know. Okay. So let me pull that up. Redlining. Okay, let me read it. Redlining is a term for a discriminatory practice in which a lender and insurer bank, or other financial services institution systematically refuses, limits, or discourages access to services in certain neighborhoods based on their race, ethnicity, and national origin of the residents rather than on their individual credit worthiness. Okay? That's called redlining. A discriminatory practice like from banks, loaning institutions, banking institutions, credit card companies, which systematically refuses, limits, or discourages access to their services based on race and ethnicity. That's called redlining. It happens in 2025. Okay? 2025. Because a recent case is called the Mortgage Firm, Inc. A mortgage firm in Florida just got sued and they had to settle for millions of dollars with the United States Department of Justice to resolve claims in which they engaged in redlining. They didn't want to lend money to Hispanics and blacks in Miami or West Palm Beach. Okay? They were doing the redlining, which was supposed to be outlawed. They were doing it in 2024 and 25. That's what we mean by discriminating with systematic racism. It happens now, in this day and age. This is what we're still angry about. A lot of people still understand that these things happen. They just, I don't know, ain't nobody racist. And then we get pictures and motherfuckers doing this dumb shit. Okay. According to the DOJ, Department of Justice, this company violated the Fair Housing Act and the Equal Credit Opportunity Act by failing to provide equal access to Hispanic people and black people in Florida. Okay. Redlining happens even today. And I wish I didn't have to say that, but that's what.
Tell me if I'm tripping or not. Y'all don't find it weird that the 92%, the black women, that all of a sudden.
Hold on.
I need y'all to tell me if I'm tripping.
Hold on.
I need y'all to tell me if I'm tripping or not. Y'all don't find it weird that the 92%, the black women, said that we were going to sit back, not involve ourselves in any of this stuff going on because we did our part during the election. We're not going to overextend ourselves for people who did not care to vote with us. Y'all don't find it weird that all of a sudden we're starting to see like all these weird AI videos, either A, using our likeness to express support for different things that we are not in support of, that we didn't say we were in support of, or B, using our likeness to further degrade us by perpetuating harmful stereotypes. I saw this one video of this girl who was like sitting down, like making a video. It's supposed to be a black girl, and she took a bite of a chicken leg and ate the entire chicken leg in one bite. And there was another one of this young girl cussing her mom clean the fuck out, like just going off on her.
School! I'm not going, old bitch! Don't make me clock you! I'll clock you into a casket!
Clean up this room now.
You clean it, ho! I didn't ask you to birth me, so don't boss me around, old bitch!
Like every chance to get, you old ho, you old, like over and over and over again. And I'm like, who is this? I feel like they're just trying to use. I need y'all to tell me if I'm tripping or not. Y'all don't find it weird that the 92%, the black women, said that we were going to sit back, not involve ourselves in any of this stuff going on because we did our part during the election. We're not going to overextend ourselves for people who did not care
The
to
one in the
vote
chat, if
with
you can
us.
hear the video.
Y'all don't find it weird that all of a sudden we're starting to see like all these weird AI videos, either A, using our likeness to express support for different things that we are not in support of, that we didn't say we were in support of, or B, using our likeness to further degrade us by perpetuating harmful stereotypes. I saw this one video of this girl who was like sitting down, like making a video. It's supposed to be a black girl, and she took a bite of a chicken leg and ate the entire chicken leg in one bite. And there was another one of this young girl cussing her mom clean the fuck out, like just going off on her.
School! I'm not going, old bitch! Don't make me clock you! I'll clock you into a casket!
Clean up this room now.
You clean it, hoe! I didn't ask.
Wait a minute. How is it that we the toughest females on the planet, and then yet and still we allow our child to talk to us like that? How many people do you know would allow their child to talk to them like that? You get fucked up if you talk to your kid. Like your kid would get fucked up. Most people don't put up with that. You don't got that Republican reject lady in white face. I did. I played it.
Ask you to birth me, so don't boss me around, old bitch.
Like every chance you get, you old hoe, you old, like over and over and over again. And I'm like, who is this for? I feel like they're just trying to use black women as puppets. Like
it is,
if
y'all.
they can't willingly get us to be involved in this, they're gonna figure out a way to put us in this against our will.
Right.
That seems to be a running theme lately, right? Black women not having bodily autonomy. You know, like the Adriana Smith case where she was declared brain dead in February, but was forced due to whatever laws in the state of Georgia to be on a ventilator so that she can give birth to a baby that was born 1 pound. Mind you, she didn't give birth. They used her as an incubator. They used her as an incubator so that she can have this baby, and then stuck her family with the damn bills. Like, this shit is going too far. Like, what's to stop them from using these, like, AI black women as influencers and not paying actual real black influencers? I saw this one AI video. It's supposed to be like this young girl talking something. Oh yeah, we use men for this, and if he's not driving this, then don't be with him, and this, that, and the other. And I feel like they're trying to use that to cause like a divide within our community, because there will be some men that see that and think that this is really how black women are. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this AI shit. And if it's a black person doing this, y'all really need to stop, because y'all are really doing harm to our community. And if it's a white person doing this,
woman seen terrorizing her community this week in blackface and going on these nonsensical rants on her Facebook, threatening to unalive everyone at her former employer. Ursilia Campbell was already banned from the USPS premises, but that didn't stop her from showing up to some of her former coworkers.
That sound crazy as hell. You wild out. You're the person that wilds out. Women, black women wild as crazy. Black women talk crazy to everybody, but yet and still you let your child talk crazy to you. That don't even sound right. That don't even sound right. I'm big and I'm bad and I beat your ass, but I'm gonna let a kid talk crazy to me? See, that's how it sound dumb. It sound dumb as hell.
To harass them. According to TMZ, the local police department picked up Ursilia Campbell and she is in protective custody, assuming she is unable to care for herself. Once she's stable and understands her actions, I really hope she is ready for the responsibility of making amends to all of the people that she's harmed, including the children who witnessed her racist behavior. I hope she also understands the privilege of being picked up by the police department unharmed, a courtesy and a kindness that many black and brown families do not receive. I checked for her in the inmate registry and she's not there, so I assume she's in the hospital receiving treatment. If I get access to any updates on her condition, I'll be sure to update y'all, but unless her family makes a statement, we're probably not going to hear much. But that's not going to stop me from trying, because this is bullshit.
Watch this.
This is Crystal Crow. She's an RN in Michigan who donned blackface with her husband last year on Halloween but it wasn't discovered until recently. This was reported to HR at McLaren Hospital, and allegedly they responded that since it was her husband who posted it and tagged her, it was totally fine. So I just want to clarify if McLaren Hospital's position is that racism is totally okay as long as their employees aren't the ones directly advertising it. Regardless, I'm not satisfied with just leaving it there because blackface isn't the only thing that Crystal likes sharing with her partners. Is it, Crystal? You see, Crystal got caught back in 2009 for allegedly calling in fraudulent Vicodin prescriptions for herself and her then husband. Even though she was convicted criminally for this, the Board of Nursing, through the Health Professional Recovery Program, put her on probation. 2 months into probation, Crystal got a DUI, which she did not disclose, and it ended up extending her probation by a year, as well as required her to attend
We on a natural high. We on a natural high tonight because we blew them out of the water, and we gonna continue to blow Republicans out of the water. All of these talking points don't make no sense. They not flying tonight, y'all. They not flying tonight.
12-step meetings. Crystal told them no can do and told the recovery program that she wanted out. Then she stopped answering them altogether, but it doesn't appear that she ever lost her license to practice. And the paper trail, at least with the Board of Nursing, ends there, but not before she's quoted as saying, "I made a mistake and I am paying way too much for it." Well, Crystal, that's not the only mistakes you've made since then, is it? Because you pled guilty to a second DUI in 2011, no contest to assault in 2014, driving on a suspended license in 2016, and guilty to a third DUI, a felony, in 2016. And per Michigan Public Health Code 333.162223, you're required to report any criminal convictions to the Michigan Board of Nursing within 30 days, and I see no record of that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Crystal, but I don't think you disclosed these additional convictions to your current employer either. So if HR at McLaren doesn't care that they employ racist nurses, maybe they'll care if you're found to have lied on your application. But don't worry, bestie, I took the liberty of informing the Michigan Board of Nursing as well as your employer. Happy spooky season, Crystal. Maybe this year you'll dress up as unemployed.
It always gets worse, doesn't it? It's never just the blackface or the racist comment. It's a series of poor decisions in their life. I recommend following the story on Savannah's page as she seeks to hold the hospital accountable as well.
It's a black woman myself. They are simply just jealous of us, okay? They're jealous of our high IQ. They're jealous of our great talent at inventing things. And I will not have any of you mocking me. In fact, I see a lot of people making fun of black women in this comment.
Y'all know the fucked up part about this video? This silly chick, this low IQ, this degenerate right here actually raising a half white baby, a half white, half black baby. This degenerate is raising a half white child. That's the bad part about that. You so dumb, Ponce. You don't know nothing about racist. The minute somebody say something about race, you goofy motherfuckers don't know the difference between being racist and talking about race. You really need to grow up. I ain't said nothing about this being no racist channel. You the goofy that came in here talking racist talking points. Nobody came in here talking like that except you. Just goofy. The minute somebody say something about race, oh, those black people being racist. Wild. Yeah, she got a half black child and she talking this 2-point crazy. All I'm gonna say is white women stop having babies by black men. Y'all stop getting them girls pregnant. Black men, stop getting these girls pregnant. Cause the racism will run the fuck up out of them. Don't even make no damn sense. If you don't know how to control yourself and you don't haven't faced your implicit bias, don't be having no black man's baby. Cause you're only gonna take it out on the damn baby. Wow. Goofy. Ponce is just goofy.
Comment section, and I don't appreciate it. Somebody said, "You are a Jew, Lily." That's correct. We are the real Jews. Us black people, we was Jews and shit. So we was everything, okay? You all came from a black woman. You were all of the womb of a black woman, all right? So we was Jews, we was Kangs, we was everything, all right?
Hey, Goofy Ponce, What are we looking at right now? What are we looking at right now, Goofy Ponce? Aren't we looking at a white girl in blackface? Why don't you go out there and find me a black woman in whiteface, pretending to be white? Why don't you do that? Just dumb.
Right. Don't be playing me like that. Don't play me like that. That's the only black phrase I know. Dance, Lily. No, you don't deserve the dancing. You don't deserve it, you crackers. You cracker scum. You will not.
I would just play it in its entirety, because this is the bullshit that we putting up with, we dealing with in 2025. This is the garbage. And she's a mother of a mixed race child. That's sad. That's sad. This just goes to show you, you shouldn't be dealing with folks and you don't know their background and you don't know how they're going to respond, and they got this inside of them. Wow.
Tea. Need me some sweet tea. This is the blackest thing I have. I don't know if pumpkins are very black, but I did bring the pumpkin in to remind you guys of slavery, okay? Because a long time ago, back in the old days, we was over here picking pumpkins and watermelons and shit. And what was you doing? You were cracking the whip. Back to work. Back to work.
Why would you identify as black? Why would you identify? What?
How is that real? How is this real? Tell me. Please, I beg. Tell me. Tell me, how is this real? Is this real? Surely I'm dreaming. Big 2025.
Yeah, that's in 2025. That's the goofy shit they doing in 2025. Hold on.
I'm going to say something uncomfortable.
But that's the thing. Here's the thing. People say black people act like victims, right? And it's usually a way to dismiss or downplay the real effects of racism, because you hear that shit in the chat all the time. And the equality, talking about the equality that exists in America. And it usually comes from people who believe that talking about racism, discrimination, or unequal opportunities are complaining. You see Goofy Ponce in the chat. This is a racist channel. We're talking about race. That doesn't make it a racist channel. We're just talking about race. And then then Ponce got the nerve to say, I identify as black. See, Ponce, I don't have the luxury of saying I could be white. I don't have that luxury. Maybe you have the luxury of crossing over and pretending to be white. I can't go over there and pretend to be white. Don't come over here with the racist talking points and your goofy ass got black in you. Don't come over here with those kind of talking points. Okay? The reality is, black Americans speak about these issues because we live these issues every day. Housing discrimination, racial profiling, limited access to resource. We live them every day. Don't call us victims. Not when we got redlining lawsuits happening in 2025. Calling us playing the victim, saying we're playing the victim, ignores historical context and the ongoing systems that are causing those struggles. And then I heard last night, oh, us white men are the real victims. We're being discriminated against. Shut the fuck up. But then it's a lot of y'all white folks out there thinking that the progress that the rest of us racial people have made is something that's against y'all. Okay? Because I noticed that Charlie person tried to pay the victim. Oh my God, DEI is against me. DEI ain't for me. DEI is against the white man. Like, I'm being punished because I'm white. And there ain't no such thing as white privilege. The whole point was to put those things into place so black people could be represented, or white people, or women, or minorities, or gays, or whatever, could be equally represented. Otherwise, you guys, you white men, would practice, what the hell is that called? I forgot the name. You white people would practice nepotism, or the old boys network, the good old boys network. You guys would practice that every day if we didn't have laws to stop you. Okay? And the reason why you feel victimized is because you got goofy people on the internet that you believe that says, oh, the white man is the victim now. They got to do DEI. He gets one leg up. He ain't qualified above me. Y'all rather have a mediocre white boy than to have DEI in place to make sure you get the best candidate. That's wild to me. That's wild. But this ain't about who's really the victim. It's about perspective, power, and change. Black people, we get tired of trying to be heard from centuries of being put in the back. And white men feel like their authority are being challenged. That's the problem. You feel like your place in the hierarchy as a white male is being challenged. That's all that is. One group is fighting for equality and the other group is fighting not to lose their status as the man of the king of the jungle. The whole point is not to have the misunderstanding that us having equality doesn't mean it's revenge against any white person. It means having balance, recognizing the differences between losing the privilege and facing discrimination is the whole big thing. And we have to have honest conversations about race and fairness in the United States. But we can't do that when every time we turn around, folks telling us we victims, or we victimize, or we playing victim. That's wild.
And I don't care if it offends you because it's the truth. There is a massive chunk of this country that is functionally stupid. Not just uneducated, not misinformed. I'm talking about people who lack the ability to process facts, apply logic, or think critically. I've stopped trying to win MAGA over, so if you're MAGA and you want to pick a fight with me, don't waste your time, because I won't waste mine. These aren't people you can debate. They don't respond to reason. They don't change because you gave them the data. They respond to emotion, to fear, to blame. And while liberals are writing think pieces and hosting panel talks, Trump and people like him are giving stupid people simple villains and easy answers. It's the immigrants, it's the gays, it's the black people. And that's all it takes. These people vote. They show up and they are dragging this country backward. Call it elitist if you want, but stupidity is a national security threat. Because when people can't process reality, they become tools for whoever feeds them the right lie. This isn't about winning hearts and minds anymore. It's about protecting truth, protecting democracy. And if we keep pretending they're just misinformed, we'll keep losing the people who aren't just wrong. They're incapable of knowing they're wrong. And they're steering this country straight into collapse. I can't stand stupid people.
Black folks know why they're here. Native peoples know why they're here and how they got here. A lot of Asian folk know, particularly if they're Chinese American, they know they got here because their ancestors were brought over to work on the railroads by the railroad barons who didn't care if thousands of them died laying track 19, 20 hours a day. But for those of us who are from Europe, we have this fiction that we've told, and we believe it, even though there's no truth to it. You know what the fiction is? It's two parts. Number one, we say things like, with regard to Mexicans coming over the border, with regard to immigrants coming over, but only that border. That's the only one we care about, right? The southern border. I find that interesting. We're not flipping out about Canada, right? We don't have any of the Minutemen or the anti-immigrant groups sitting off the coast of Nova Scotia with a gun and a scope trying to like pick off the sneaky Canadians that are trying to sneak in here for our superior healthcare system, which after all would be a pretty stupid thing to do. But in any event, we only care about that one border, forgetting for a minute that that border was created at the end of a war that was started on false pretense by this country, after which we jacked half of their country. And you weren't taught that in school either, because our history books aren't interested in telling the truth. They tell this very patriotic history that has no relationship to the fact. So that border is artificial. Mexican folk who are coming here, documented or not, let's be clear, are coming home. Their families were here before our families were here in almost every instance. But we forget that, and then we say things like, well, I don't mind them coming. I just want them to come legally like my people did. The hell does that even mean? Come legally? There was no law to break when our people came. The fact that we didn't break a law that didn't even exist, you don't get cookies for that. You don't get like a pat on the back and a gold star because your great whatever was law abiding when there was no law that he could have violated, even if he wanted to. But we've told this lie that we came for these upstanding principles. So we'll say things like, well, you know, our people came for liberty and freedom, democracy. These people are just coming for stuff. They're just coming for jobs. They're just coming for health care. They're just coming for stuff. We came for high-minded principle, right? Because we believe that. What kind of third grade version of American history is that, right? Like when Donald Trump says, well, Mexico's not sending their best. What the hell, you think Europe sent their best? Europe? No, our people were the losers of Europe. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, our people were the losers of Europe. The winners didn't get on the boat. You understand what I'm saying? The winners didn't leave. Why the hell would you leave if you were winning? Only the losers left because they had no choice. They were dying. They were starving. They couldn't support their families. A lot of them were convicts who were sold into indentured servitude to work for rich European people. They were barely above the level of a slave themselves. The idea that we had these we didn't believe in liberty and freedom. And we know that because once we got to the colonies, we set up.
I'm asking a sincere question. I'm looking for sincere responses from Republicans. And so this is a question that I've posed to people close to me. And I mean it sincerely. When I know so many of you would say that you don't really support Trump personally, you don't like even some of the things that he's doing, but you would say, but what choice did you have? And then I begin to hear you guys mimicking Trump, in spite of your protest that you don't really support him. You mimic him talking about fake news, about having to take your country back, that the alternatives, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, or if you want to go as far back as Barack Obama, that they were threatening to destroy this country. My question, sincerely, heartfelt, is what exactly were they proposing or did they stand for that was so egregious as to threaten the very existence of who we are, our national character? What were they proposing? What did they stand for that was going to literally destroy our country? To the point that you would now stand by, condone, or overlook things that I believe 10 years ago you wouldn't have.
If you don't understand the history of law enforcement misconduct in black space, in black communities, Black Lives Matter won't make any sense to you. Now, I want to be very clear when I talk about the history of law enforcement misconduct. I'm not talking about every damn cop. I'm not talking about good cops and bad cops, good people and bad people. I'm talking about a history and a culture of law enforcement that has simply not treated black and brown peoples the same as white folks. And anyone who denies that what I just said is true has not studied history and is not competent to speak about it, right? Because the history of policing traces directly back to slave patrols. That was the first iteration of law enforcement on this land in any real formal sense. It was police, after all, who enforced the slave codes. It was police who enforced segregation after slavery was ended. It was police who conspired to engage in lynchings of thousands of black bodies, releasing suspected criminals or people who weren't even suspected of a crime into the hands of the mob. It was police that pulled protesters off of sit-in stools in the 1960s. It was police that turned water cannons and dogs on children in the streets of Birmingham. It was police that did the same and beat protesters on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. It was cops, along with uniformed military personnel, that rampaged in Mexican-American communities in Los Angeles during the Zoot Suit riots in 1943. That was law enforcement. It wasn't just average people. It was people whose job was to, quote unquote, enforce the law. The problem is, if you live in a society where the laws are unjust, everyone who enforces those laws is engaged in injustice by definition, you see? It's not about good people and bad people. It's about if a system is flawed, the people who enforce that system are culpable. And people of color know that.
Over the years, I've had any number of people knock on my door, people after my heart, my mind, my soul. Mormon missionaries wanting to tell me about the LDS Church, Jehovah's Witnesses wanting me to read their pamphlets, Baptists wanting me to find the way of Jesus, Republicans and Democrats wanting me to convert to their party and vote for their candidate. But in all those years, not one time, never once, did I have a member of the LGBTQ community knock on my door and say, hey, you want to be gay? I've never had a trans person knock on my door and say, hey, you want to change your gender? And I ask you, is it possible, is it in any way conceivably possible that you have been duped by self-serving politicians and so-called religious people who've always got their nose in your crack to think that the LGBTQ community and the trans community somehow pose a threat to you and your family, when in fact, if you just left them alone, or better yet, treated them like actual human beings, that everything would be just fine? You think that's possible? Think about it.
Father David here. Supporting Trump because of the abortion issue simply doesn't stand up to scrutiny. First of all, neither Jesus nor Scripture says anything about abortion, even though it occurred all throughout those years. And secondly, for millennia, it was believed that a fetus became a human either at the quickening, around 24 weeks, or upon taking its first breath. To suggest that Trump is pro-life flies in the face of evidence that we see every day. His taking away HIV medications from millions of people in Africa, condemning perhaps hundreds of thousands, if not more, to death and illness. Stopping food aid, not only across the world, but here in our own country, devastates not only the hungry, but the farmers who provide that food. No, to suggest that you support Trump because of the abortion issue doesn't hold water. If you want to support him because you like a racist, misogynistic, admitted and adjudicated sexual abuser, that is entirely up to you, and you are free to do so. But let's not dress it up with moral bubble wrap and suggest that you've got the high ground. And finally this, for you men who seem to be the most vocal when it comes to condemning women who seek reproductive health care, if you haven't had a vasectomy, you are a walking potential future abortion. And frankly, until you've had one, I think you ought to just zip it. So friends, let's be pro-life. Let's support life. And let's start with those who are actually living, breathing human beings in our midst. God bless us all.
Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to class. I'm the history wizard, and I have a master's degree in Holocaust and Genocide Studies. Let us be perfectly clear on something. The United States is not becoming just like Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany became just like the United States. They studied our Jim Crow laws and used them as a framework for the Nuremberg laws. And they studied our eugenics laws and used them as a framework for the T4 program. The United States is not suddenly descending into a fascist state. It's just becoming visibly fascist in a way that the people who had previously been privileged enough to ignore it can now no longer do so. And as always,
this is interesting. There was an attempted coup. A bunch of people stormed a government building. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's not like anybody got hurt. No, it looks like some people died, including some police officers. And then before the election, there was hyperinflation and some pretty big economic concerns. Yeah, the price of eggs and sliced cheese got ridiculous. And the rhetoric about those people is pretty intense. Poisoning the blood of the country. He's just saying they need to leave the country and stop taking our jobs, that's all. Threatening journalists who criticize him with legal threats of imprisonment and dismantling the public's trust in the media by calling them oppressive lies. Well, what's he supposed to do? Just let them keep lying about him and covering up the real news? I mean, come on. They went after higher education, punishing universities that didn't adhere to their political ideologies and started telling them who they could and couldn't.
In about 5 minutes, Gavin Newsom closes his poll closes in about 5 minutes. So I want to play this part right here.
Of your wealthy black Americans and poor black Americans. So don't just assume, think black and think poor.
know, listen to this.
Charlie Kirk had a lot of opinions. And among those opinions was his opinion that being a white, straight Christian male was under attack in this country. Now, this video is not to debate with the dead man's opinions. This video is to talk to who he was talking to and to talk about what to do in the aftermath of his death. Now, there has been, and there's going to continue to be, a lot of shit throwing on the internet around his death and around what happens after his death. And there's a whole host of young men who look just like me, who are either direct fans of his or knew of him tangentially and thought he was fine, thought he was harmless, just a guy sticking up for himself and his way of life. Now, these young men for the last 7 or 8 years have been being told that they are under attack for being straight, white, Christian men. And they have now had that fear confirmed for them in the most traumatizing and shocking way possible. Now, if you are one of these young men and you've made it this far into listening, please listen to me now. This war that we are throttling towards full speed is the war of our grandfather's generation. These old rich men in control who want violence, who want the masses to slaughter each other. These men are our only enemy. Who profits when we have riots? Who profits when the stores burn down? Who profits when we turn our backs on our brothers? Corporations profit. Private equity profits. BlackRock profits. BlackRock profits every time a bullet is fired and every time a store burns down. This culture war that they're sparking is being used to tear this country apart for their profit, for their gain, so they can continue to profit off of our suffering. These people will profit when they shoot you, and they will profit at the hospital when they stitch you up. Companies like BlackRock and Palantir are set to make trillions off of the impending collapse of our nation. They're planning for us to tear each other apart. They are planning for us to turn on each other and make this culture war a civil war. I am begging you, please, for the love of God, for the love of our neighbors, for the love of whatever, do not take the bait. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and brother, we are all sharing an enemy. Charlie Kirk was killed by being used by the same enemy as a divisive tool to split our nation in half. He was killed because he was a tool used by the elite to split us along culture issues like race, like sex, like gender. The only issue that matters is the corporations at the top and the rest of us at the bottom suffering while they sip champagne and they laugh at our fear. Your enemy isn't across, your enemy is up.
Everybody needs to see this because we finally have a Democratic member of Congress who flat out challenges the way a question has been phrased from the dishonest press that just repeats Republican talking points and phrases it in a question. Watch this.
If we come to November 1st and these contingency funds haven't been released, if nothing has been accomplished in restoring SNAP benefits, will you call on your Democratic colleagues to reopen the government and deal with these shutdown crises immediately, deal with healthcare conversations once the government is reopened?
So let me ask you a question. The basis for your question is, and maybe the better way to state it would be, if the Trump administration continues to violate the law, if the Trump administration unlawfully refuses to release funds so that families in Colorado don't go hungry, if the Trump administration refuses to follow the law, as they have for the better course of the last 9 months, violating statute after statute. If in that scenario, these actions unfold, then how will Democrats respond? That, my view, would be a more fair characterization of the question that you've posed, because it does feel a little bit like we're in the twilight zone here, with an administration that is lawless, violates the law with impunity, is now doing so with respect to the release of funds for families that may go hungry. We're here in Washington. You're here in Washington. House Republicans are gone. 6 weeks and counting. Gone. Literally gone. Won't show up in Washington. Won't do town halls back in their respective districts. And somehow the question is posed to House Democrats as to how we will respond. The Trump administration needs to follow the law. And insofar, you've heard all my colleagues repeatedly suggest we would like to negotiate an agreement in good faith with our Republican colleagues. That is why we're here in our nation's capital. question should be posed to Republicans: when will they get serious about working with us in good faith so that we can reach an agreement? The passion you hear is frustration with the fact that Republicans could just simply abandon their post for 6 weeks, that the Trump administration can just violate the law without consequence.
And me to the stage. Right. So here's the thing. When people bring race into every discussion, it creates more division than understanding. That's why I try to, when I bring it up, I try to bring a context to it up. Okay? Because we never focus on our shared values and our shared goals and things like it's always us against them. You know, we group people by saying tonight people were saying, well, why didn't Obama vote for the black woman? We don't vote just because of race. We look at your race and say, oh, you're black. Let's see your record. What is your record? Do you have things that I believe in? And then we might vote for that candidate. We don't just vote for people because they're black or Indian or whatever. Okay? That's just wild that you all would think so. But you never think of you as a person that just votes for somebody because they're white. And every once in a while, because we have this us versus them mentality, that sows resentment, mistrust. I hate when people say you have the victim mentality. I have no idea what the fuck that means. The victim mentality. Okay. Instead of building bridges, we got people showing blackface. How do you get on here and show yourself to other human beings and be a clown? Just be a clown. How do you come on here and just be a clown for no reason? Okay. There is racial animosity out here. There's racial systematic racism and there's regular racism. That young lady is showing regular racism. That redlining lawsuit is systematic racism. We have both of those. Okay. We have both of those. We have to work on those things. And just because a black person brings up race doesn't mean she's just because a white person brings up race doesn't mean that they're racial either. The whole point is to be open and honest about the conversation. Don't come to me talking about all black people commit 13% of y'all black people and 50% commit crime. Right? On its face, it's a racial thing. Okay? Because it's not a true statistic. 50%, 13% of the people commit 50% of the crime. You mean get arrested for 50% of the crime, not convicted of 50% of the crime. Arrested and convicted, two totally different things. Okay. So we need to stop this kind of division because most of us are on the poor boat. Most of us are in the poor boat and we need to stop doing that division because of race. Okay. We don't vote for people because they're black. You don't vote for people because of white, but you need to really think about that. Most of the people that went for office has always been white. So it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction to vote for somebody that's not white. No, vote for somebody that's white. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Instead of thinking about the characteristics or thinking about their credentials. Okay. Obama didn't vote for that goofy girl because she wasn't talking about pocketbook issues. Nobody's voting for a goofy person that continues to come out the box and say stuff like trans, gays, X, Y, and Z. And that's not what's important out here tonight. Okay? The economy is the most important thing. Okay? We are trying to move the country forward. all this goofy nonsense talk. Antifa, military in the streets, fighting. Let's get control of our streets and X, Y, and Z. This has been the most divisive president of our lifetime. Obama never got out here and was talking about race like this. See, the thing is, most people think because you didn't say the hard ER, that it's not a racial thing. It doesn't have to be a hard ER, okay? It doesn't have to be a hard ER. It just has to be, right? So, that's a part of the show, the blackface. I was pissed off when I saw it. I had to do a little bit about it, but we got to tune in. We're going to tune in to, what's his name? Mamdami's race or his speech, because he's about to speak in a few minutes. I want to tune into it, to check it out, to catch it, because it's history, right? I'm tired of fighting with people. You know, the whole point is you got to continue to fight. We got to continue to fight. We got to continue to fight. I'd rather fight about politics. I don't want to fight about race. I'd rather fight about politics, but I will fight about race. I'll fight about all of those things. Okay? As long as everybody come to that. Republicans, you just got to come to the table with more than gays, immigrants. You got to come to the table with more than that. Because I always tell you that I'm for the poor, the handicapped, the veterans, the elderly. I tell you, I'm for those things. I ask you, what are you for? Not what you against. I don't want to fucking hear about Biden or Hunter's laptop or all this other bullshit or Obama. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Come with some facts about what your party is doing for the middle class. Don't come over on the bullshit. Come over with some facts. And I never see you guys coming with facts. I always see you coming over here ranting about we hate trans, we hate gay, we hate Obama, we hate Biden. Stop it. We want to have an exchange of ideas. We don't want bullshit. We want exchange of ideas. And maybe we can get somewhere as a country if we start thinking poor people against the rich instead of Republican against Democrat. We need to figure out how to get represented better in Congress than what we are. And right now, I don't see no representation from the Republican Party because they're not pushing back on what this president is doing. And this president should not be doing all of the things that they are doing. And you guys are not giving him pushback. Okay. And that's the thing. I ain't seen no pushback yet from this party. And I'm saying, look, you want us to be a part of your party? You want us to have X, Y, and Z? Y'all gonna have to start pushing back against y'all president. Y'all act like y'all don't know how to do that. I don't know why y'all don't know how to do that. I don't know why y'all don't want to push back on y'all president. I don't understand. Because he's doing things that are illegal. He's doing things that are not good for the country. He's not putting the country first. And this is the problem that we have, and this is where we are at. And this is why we are winning the races that we are winning. This is why we're going to continue to win races, because we're going to talk about pocketbook issues. We're going to talk about things that the American people care about. And the one thing we don't give a damn about and you all keep bringing up, and we ain't bringing it up no more. Y'all shouldn't be bringing it up no more. Y'all Democrats want to deal with the gays and the trans. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about that. People care about getting their gas prices low. They care about their rent. They care about their car note. They care about the food, X, Y, and Z. I don't know what you babbling on about, Doris and Luke. I don't know what the hell is going on. But we trying to do some positive things over here. Okay? Positive things. Maybe we can have a groundswell and we can get some things done for the American people instead of them sending 40 billion over there to prop up the economy of Argentina. Prop this economy up. Every person within the sound of my voice should be pissed off that they sending money over there to Argentina and they letting people here starve. Every person, black, white, Hispanic, you name it, should be pissed off. Okay? Every American should be pissed off that they sent money over there to Argentina. If we're going to do America first, everybody wants America first. Help the people that are here first. Before you help anybody else, help the people that are here first. Okay? Then, if we got enough money left over, then we'll help somebody else. But we ain't helping nobody else until we help our people right here. Okay? Get those homeless shelters together. Get those homeless labor camps open where we can help house the homeless and maybe get some of them off drugs. Maybe get some of them off alcohol. Help them get started. Put them on some of them farms. Have them do the work of the farms. Maybe we can get some relief from the immigrants on the farm. Maybe you can get some of those people who are homeless to help on the farms, and maybe that'll be an idea. I don't know. All I know is we need to figure out a better way than what the fuck we've been doing, because this shit ain't working. Okay? We ain't over here blaming nobody for nothing. We already down the rabbit hole. Stop blaming people for shit. Let's start coming up with some ideas about stuff we can do to make our country better. And advocate how do we make our country better. Okay? I don't give a damn about what Obama did 10, 15 years ago. I don't give a damn what Biden did 10, 15 years. I care about what this president is doing now. We have to, you Republicans do not want to push back on your candidate, your guy. And that's a problem for most of us. You're not pushing back on your guy. Your guy is running amok. That's wild. He come up here with George Zimmerman too. That's wild.
And Mamdani, and he said, well, I'm better looking than Mamdani. So, you know, there is some acknowledgement that charismatic people who can message really well and speak to voters win.
Yeah. So we are waiting for Governor Newsom to come out and let us know if he won. He got his Prop 50 through. We're waiting on that right there. Everybody, I think it feels like everybody pushed back. Who wanted to push back in this election? We got Mamdani, the Spirelli, the white lady, Spanberger, and we got so we waiting for the Gavin Newsom's Proposition 50 to find out what's going on with that. Okay. The most important issue was the cost of living.
In Virginia, economy was the most important issue. Those voters broke more than half, 52%, for Abigail Spanberger. In New Jersey, of those who said the economy...
You all push the like button, please, and thank you. This is a very casual evening, but it's a historic evening. You all push the like button, subscribe. We have content like this every night. I want to go until we hear from Gavin Newsom. Let's hope we hear from Gavin Newsom about the Prop 50 that we know that it passed so they can do what they... Shout out to Detroit, electing the first black woman. Hey, hey, hey. First black woman. Virginia, the first white woman. Hey, hey, hey. And hopefully Gavin Newsom gets done with this 50. This is a nice night for, well, we can. Hold on. We can. Hold on. We can. Let me see. Let me move my shit. Here we are. How we do this? Oh, there we go. Right there. There we go. Hold on. Voice. Go. Okay. Yeah, we are right there. Okay. So we want to see what Gavin Newsom has to say if he won his Proposition 50. His Proposition 50 is in regards to them being able to redistrict. It's called gerrymandering. Okay. Gerrymandering, because the Texas Donald Trump put out a call to all Republican states and said, hey, I need you to get rid of certain districts and find me more Republican districts. So that is what they started to do around the country. Republicans started to
right. There's not necessarily
started to rig the map so that they know, the Republicans know that they're going to lose the midterms next year. Donald Trump has fucked them up so much that they know they're going to lose the midterms next year. Now, if it continues to slide the way it's sliding, they might lose 30, 40 seats. And the Senate might be in trouble too. I hope the Senate is in trouble. I hope the Senate is in trouble. But we know the House is in trouble. So if they continue on their route of this Antifa, gay, immigrant, they keep on the same route, they're going to lose the House and the Senate. Okay. And so Donald Trump called a bunch of Republican governors up and said, hey, we want you to find more seats. We want you to get rid of some seats and then make them seats that are Republican. So that's what the Republicans have been doing, because they know they're going to lose seats next midterm. And so this Prop 50 that Gavin Newsom put into place will give him more Democratic seats, taking away the Republican seats and giving more Democratic seats, so that we can even out the playing field from them doing the bullshit that they're trying to do. They trying to get more seats and take away Democratic seats and give more Republican seats, so that they know they can keep the House and the Senate. So this is where we at, and we're waiting for Governor Newsom to come on and say whether they won Prop 50 or not. That gives them permission to change the map in California, because California is big. It is what it is, and hopefully that's the case. So this is where we are at this particular point, y'all. This is where we at. Okay? Waiting for Gavin Newsom to hit the door, because his stuff just closed.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
By the way, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is walking out now, waving to all the folks in the hall. Let's take a listen.
Mamdani.
Thank you, my friends. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
Now hit the like button, subscribe, hit the like button.
As long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty. I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name as we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change, a mandate for a new kind of politics, a mandate for a city we can afford, and a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City. And that is because of you. So before I say anything else, I must say this. Thank you. Thank you to the next generation of New Yorkers who refused to accept that the promise of a better future was a relic of the past. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or as we say on Steinway, ana minkum wa ilaykum. Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point, know this. This city is your city, and this democracy is yours too. This campaign is about people like Wesley, an $11.99 organizer I met outside of Elmhurst Hospital on Thursday night. A New Yorker who lives elsewhere, who commutes 2 hours each way from Pennsylvania because rent is too expensive in this city. It's about people like the woman I met on the BX33 years ago, who said to me, I used to love New York, but now it's just where I live. And it's about people like Richard, the taxi driver I went on a 15-day hunger strike with outside of City Hall, who still has to drive his cab 7 days a week. My brother, we are in City Hall now. This victory is for all of them, and it's for all of you. the more than 100,000 volunteers who built this campaign into an unstoppable force. Because of you, we will make this city one that working people can love and live in again. With every door knocked, every petition signature earned, and every hard-earned conversation, you eroded the cynicism that has come to define our politics. Now, I know that I have asked for much from you over this last year. Time and again, you have answered my calls. But I have one final request. New York City, breathe this moment in. We have held our breath for long.
We still got some people. We still got some goofy people in the chat, y'all. We still got goofy people in the chat talking about communism, talking about now we had nothing is free. He's lying. He's a communist. You see, some of them don't have nothing to talk about. It's never a positive thing. Yet they want us to vote for Republican. They want us to vote Republican, but they don't have any ideas. They come in talking about communist this and communist that. You just dumb. Communism, he ain't a communist.
Longer than we know. We have held it.
We keep saying your boss, Donald Trump, is a fascist, and you don't even believe that. So we don't believe you when you talking about communism. Shut the hell up.
In anticipation of defeat. Held it because the air has been knocked out of our lungs too many times to count. Held it because we cannot afford to exhale. Thanks to all of those who
goofy people in the chat, Ty,
sacrifice so much, we are breathing in the air of a city that has been reborn. To my campaign team, who believed when no one else did, and who took an electoral project and turned it into so much more, I will never be able to express the depth of my gratitude. You can sleep now. To my parents, Mama and Baba, you have made me into the man I am today. I am so proud to be your son. And to my incredible wife, Rama,
unlike J.D. Vance, who denigrating his wife,
Hayati, there is no one I would rather have by my side in this moment and in every moment. To every New Yorker, whether you voted for me, for one of my opponents, or felt too disappointed by politics to vote at all, thank you for the opportunity to prove myself worthy of your trust. I will wake each morning with a singular purpose: to make this city better for you than it was the day before. There are many who thought this day would never come, who feared that we would be condemned only to a future of less, with every election consigning us simply to more of the same. And there are others who see politics today as too cruel for the flame of hope to still burn. New York, we have answered those fears. Tonight we have spoken in a clear voice. Hope is alive. Hope is a decision that tens of thousands of New Yorkers made day after day, volunteer shift after volunteer shift, despite attack ad after attack ad. More than 1 million of us stood in our churches, in gymnasiums, in community centers, as we filled in the ledger of democracy. And while we cast our ballots alone, we chose hope together. Hope over tyranny. Hope over...
Why does he want government grocery stores? What does that mean, 46 MD? Because he wants government grocery stores? What do you mean? Is that some socialist bullshit that you're talking about? What does that mean?
Big money and small ideas. Hope over despair. We won because New Yorkers allowed themselves to hope that the impossible could be made possible. And we won because we insisted that no longer would politics be something that is done to us. Now it is something that we do. Standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new. So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what this new age will deliver and for whom. This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt.
Right.
Central to that vision will be the most ambitious agenda to tackle the cost of living crisis.
It's not that we don't understand what government-run grocery stores mean, 46 MD. We want you to explain what's wrong with government grocery store. You just said bread lines. What does that mean? We want you to explain why it would be a bad idea. We understand what it is.
That this city has seen since the days of Fiorello LaGuardia.
They just be talking.
An agenda that will freeze the rents for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. Make buses fast and free. And deliver universal child care across our city.
All right, all right, all right.
Years from now, may our only regret be that this day took so long to come.
Oh, he's the youngest mayor? Okay, okay. Socialism has failed everywhere. Has been. Are you serious right now?
This new age
will
be one of relentless improvement. We will hire thousands more teachers. We will cut waste from a bloated bureaucracy. We will work tirelessly to make lights shine again in the hallways of NYCHA developments where they have long flickered. Safety and justice will go hand in hand as we work with police officers to reduce crime and create a department of community safety that tackles the mental health crisis and homelessness crises head on. Excellence will become the expectation across government, not the exception. In this new age we make for ourselves, we will refuse to allow those who traffic in division and hate to pit us against one another. In this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light. Here, we believe in standing up for those we love. Whether you are an immigrant, a member of the trans community, one of the many black women that Donald Trump has fired from a federal job, a single mom still waiting for the cost of groceries to go down, or anyone else with their back against the wall, your struggle is ours too. And we will build a city hall that that stands steadfast alongside Jewish New Yorkers and does not waver in the fight against the scourge of anti-Semitism. Where the more than 1 million Muslims know that they belong. Not just in the 5 boroughs of this city, but in the halls of power. No more will New York be a city where you can traffic in Islamophobia and win an election.
Going on, boy. Talk that shit.
This new age will be defined by a competence and a compassion that have too long been placed at odds with one another. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
He said socialism. Socialism has worked. There's plenty of things that use socialism and they work. We have socialism here. I'm confused. Sometimes y'all be just talking. Just some of y'all just be talking. Just because we start a social program and it needs to be tweaked and changed doesn't mean that it fails. Medicare, Medicaid, Section 8, public aid, food stamps, all of those things are social programs. He's talking about starting a grocery store that's a government-run grocery store. Who knows what, when, or how? Just wild. Just be talking for no reason. Love paying the high prices for everything.
For years, those in City Hall have only helped those who can help them. But on January 1st, we will usher in a city government that helps everyone. Now, I know that many have heard our message only through the prism of misinformation. Tens of millions of dollars have been spent to redefine reality and to convince our neighbors that this new age is something that should frighten them. As has so often occurred, the billionaire class has sought to convince those making $30 an hour that their enemies are those earning $20 an hour. They want the people to fight amongst ourselves so that we remain distracted from the work of remaking a long broken system. We refuse to let them dictate the rules of the game anymore. They can play by the same rules as the rest of us. Together, we will usher in a generation of change. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power.
Ouch. Ouch.
This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold the bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks.
Keep rolling out. Keep going.
We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed.
Let's go. Let's go.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants.
Let's go.
And as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Let's go. I know,
so
right?
Hear me, President Trump, when I say this.
Oh, shit.
To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Whoa. Ooh, we don't know who this little man is on stage. He's talking
City Hall
crazy.
in 58 days, expectations will be high.
Uh-oh.
We will meet them. A great New Yorker once said that while you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. If that must be true, let the prose we write still rhyme, and let us build a shining city for all. And we must chart a new path, as bold as the one we have already traveled. After all, the conventional wisdom would tell you that I am far from the perfect candidate. I am young, despite my best efforts to grow older.
That's okay.
I am Muslim. I am a democratic socialist. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this. And yet, if tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. Too many working people cannot recognize themselves in our party. And too many among us have turned to the right for answers to why they've been left behind. We will leave mediocrity in our past. No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that Democrats can dare to be great. Our greatness will be anything but abstract. It will be felt by every rent-stabilized tenant who wakes up on the first of every month, knowing the amount they're going to pay hasn't soared since the month before. It will be felt by each grandparent who can afford to stay in the home they have worked for, and whose grandchildren live nearby because the cost of childcare didn't send them to Long Island. It will be felt by the single mother who is safe on her commute and whose bus runs fast enough that she doesn't have to rush school drop-off to make it to work on time.
Some of y'all in the chat really need to grow up. Deport the Islamic conqueror. Boy, y'all just pulled the crappy race card, bigot card out your back pocket like it's like water. For real. Just pull it out of your pocket and say any old damn thing. Y'all hit the like button, the share button. We seeing history right now. Some of you zombies don't know history when you see it. You just don't know how to be quiet and soak it in because you're a zombie. The Merc with a mouth. Zombie.
And it will be felt when New Yorkers open their newspapers in the morning and read headlines of success, not scandal. Most of all, it will be felt by each New Yorker when the city they love finally loves them back.
34-year-old Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. I mean, we got to say first and foremost, this is history in the making. The first Muslim mayor ever of the city of New York, that guy knows how to communicate.
He knows how to communicate, and he knows exactly who he's talking to.
Yeah.
Not only is he talking to the current president of the United
Hell yeah. See this shit. I said, this is what Donald Trump put. This is Donald Trump, his True Social thing. And so it begins. Then he says, pass voter reform, voter ID, no mail-in ballots, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state edition, terminate the filibuster. This motherfucker is scared. Donald Trump is scared because he knows the end is near for his old ass. The end is near. If he don't croak, he's going to go to jail. I'm just saying. And so it begins. Yes, it does just begin. And then Mamdani said this. Hold on, let me show you this. Okay, Mamdani said he was a democratic socialist. Let me show you this. For some of you zombies in the chat who don't know what a democratic socialist is, let me read it for you. A democratic socialist is someone who believes in combining democracy with socialism, meaning he likes the programs that we have right now, plus go more into the socialist programs. That's what he means. He says he's the democratic socialist. He's just like Bernie. He's just like Bernie. And a lot of people supported Bernie. He's just like Bernie. But then you got goofy zombies who are afraid because he's a Muslim that he gonna try to make Sharia law or something crazy like that. Like a zombie. Wild as hell. A democratic socialist is someone who believes in combining democracy with socialism, meaning they support a political system where people have a say in the government through elections and freedoms, just how we have it right now. We already have socialism in this country. Goofy zombie, the merc with the mouth zombie. We already have socialism here. And an economy that works for everyone, not just the wealthy. That's what he's the same as Bernie. He's no different than Bernie. He just calls himself a little bit more. Maybe he goes a little bit more than that, but it's the same thing. This is what Trump wrote on his socials page. And so it begins. Pass voter reform, voter ID, no mail-in ballots. The Republicans can't do anything but lie and want to change shit because they know they're going to lose. Because you should lose. You should be losing because you have shitty policies. Republicans have shitty policies, and you should lose because you guys have shitty policies. He's scared because he knows if he lives and he gets out of the White House, he's going to prison. That's how. Get into the game, y'all. Get into the game.
Tweeting or, putting out on True Social. And so
Bringing it back,
Okay,
Kevin Jarrett. Want you two to stand by for a second. Thank you. We're going to have much more on election coverage, but we got to get back to that big breaking news we told you about just a couple of minutes ago out of Kentucky. This UPS plane that crashed right after takeoff from an airport there in Louisville. Want to pull up a...
Here's the thing. We've had policies, Thomas, we have policies that our people like. Most people around the country like our policies. Okay? Most people like our policies. Just dumb. You can't send the president to prison only unless he does things against the law, which this president has done. Okay? No, we don't talk about Trump every day. Sometimes we talk about goofy shit like zombies. T-Smoke. Like zombies.
Live shot here. It is dark, but can you see that kind of red glow there? We have...
You need to promise free stuff, MKP. And you white folks take more free stuff than we do. Y'all be killing me. Just be talking for no reason. You notice, hey, Democrats, any Democrats in here, you notice how all the zombie Republicans came in and now they're name calling. We like free stuff. Socialism don't work. Biden is your daddy. X, Y, and Z. You notice that they don't have no policies, right? They don't have no policies. They in here talking like they normally do. Don't bring nothing to the table. Always want to have always want to talk about stuff. Always want to name call, but they don't have no ideas. That's why they lost tonight, because they have no ideas. They don't stand on anything. They came in here talking about free stuff. Y'all just like free stuff. Black people just like free stuff. Even though only 18% of black people are poor. What percentage of y'all white people are poor? It's only 18% of us that's poor, but we like all the free stuff. Wow. That's why black people are Democrats. No, black people are Democrats because we're progressive.
Had an image earlier, too, of a huge sort of plume of smoke. This plane was headed for Hawaii with 3 crew members on board, according to UPS. There is now a shelter-in-place order for some places around the airport here. We want to show you some brand new and frankly stunning video we're getting just in of the plane as it was going down the runway.
Wow.
There it is. Did you
Hell.
see the fire on the side of the plane as it was speeding
Whoa.
up, and then this fireball that just exploded? It is just horrific to see. Oh, God, it's terrible to watch. We're going to cut away from this, and I want to bring in Tom Costello, who's got more on this. And Tom, obviously, we know that officials have said there are injuries here. What else are you learning as this is very quickly developing?
Yeah, it's very, very quickly developing. The mayor's
the hell
office says
happened?
that there were multiple injuries, and our local affiliate there is suggesting that 4 people have been transported, at least 4 people, transported to area hospitals. This happened at 5:13 p.m. Eastern Time. This was a UPS cargo flight 2976 leaving Muhammad Ali International Airport on its way to Honolulu. We're told 3 crew members were on board. We do not know their conditions at this hour, but UPS is confirming that this did occur. A crash did occur there, and 3 crew members were on board. This is an MD-11 cargo plane. So this used to be a very common wide-body passenger plane, but over the last 10 to 15 years, it's really transitioned to more of a cargo plane. Candidly, it has some reliability issues and a kind of a sordid past in terms of previous incidents and crashes around the world. There, as you could see, if you're departing and you're leaving from the UPS Worldport, that's a critical piece of video right there. Can we put that into a loop or back it up and drop the banner? Because look at that engine. As this plane is rolling down the runway, it appears that one of the engines may already have flames coming out of the engine. There you go. Look at that on the left side. It would appear there was already fire on that engine. So that's going to be critical as the NTSB, as the FAA try to determine what happened here.
And Tom, can I just throw in, too, just to make the point as we're seeing it take off, it would have had a lot of fuel on board, right, if it's making that trip.
38,000 gallons. Yeah, 38,000 gallons of fuel on an MD-11 going all the way to Honolulu. At the end of that runway near the UPS Worldport, we're told that there are some businesses at the end of the runway. I can't tell you what types of businesses, and we don't know if anybody on the ground there has been injured, but clearly that's a high priority. There's been the shelter-in-place order in a 5-mile radius, in part because you've got just a massive amount of jet fuel that's on fire right now.
Hold on, we got where's the guy? Where he's at? Hold on. Here we go. Here we go.
rather be Gavin Newsom than themselves.
What do you make of the fact that we've had so many people turn down the race for governor? We've had Kamala Harris, and then just hours ago,
Rob and I have talked about Alex Padilla for a while, and I had heard.
Good evening, everybody. And let me underscore, it's been a good evening for everybody, not just the Democratic Party. But what a night for the Democratic Party. a party that is in its ascendancy, a party that's on its toes, no longer on its heels, from coast to coast, sea to shining sea. But it was not just a victory tonight for the Democratic Party, it was a victory for the United States of America, for the people of this country and the principles that our founding fathers lived and died for. And so we're proud. We're proud here in California to be part of this narrative this evening. We're proud of the work that the people of the state of California did tonight to send a powerful message to an historic president. Donald Trump is an historic president. He is the most historically unpopular president in modern history. In every critical category, Donald Trump is underwater. He promised to make us healthier. He promised to make us wealthier. We're sicker and poorer. And he fundamentally understands that. Why else would he call Greg Abbott saying he's entitled to 5 seats? Why else is he trying to rig the midterm elections before one single vote is even cast? He understands his position at this moment in the United States of America. One thing he never counted on, though, was the state of California. Instead of agonizing over the state of our nation, we organized in an unprecedented way in a 90-day sprint. People from all over the United States of America contributed their voices and their support for this initiative. We stood tall and we stood firm in response to Donald Trump's recklessness.
This right here, if he runs for president in 2028, he gonna win.
And tonight, after poking the bear, this bear roared with an unprecedented turnout.
Because he likes to troll the president. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Your president is trash. Let's get that straight.
In a special election with an extraordinary result. None of us, however, are naive. This is a pattern. This is a practice. Donald Trump's efforts to rig the midterm election continue to this day. And I'll reinforce that in just a moment. You're seeing him take action all across this country, not just in Texas. You saw what they were successful able to do in Missouri, what they did in North Carolina, what they're trying.
They're gonna vote for the bisexual. They're gonna vote for the female boy. They're gonna vote for him. Yeah, I don't think so. Once they find out he's a lady boy.
To do in Indiana and inevitably in Florida. They are not screwing around. In June of this year, we saw 4,000 National Guard federalized in the state of California. We saw 700 active duty Marines not sent overseas, but sent to the second largest city in the United States of America to militarize our streets. We said in June this was a preview of things to come. What more evidence do you need than what happened in Washington, D.C., what's happening up in Portland, cities like Chicago? When we kicked off this campaign just 90 or so days ago in Little Tokyo, in Southern California, in LA, at the Democracy Center, Donald Trump sent Greg Bovino. He sent his private police force that increasingly appears to have taken an oath of office to Donald Trump, not to the Constitution of the United States. He sent them to our kickoff rally to chill free expression, to chill free speech, to intimidate people from participating. Just today, in Los Angeles, Donald Trump called up the Border Patrol, sent them to Dodger Stadium, and threw a fastball at free speech, right at the head, free expression, to suppress the vote in America's second largest city. Just did that today. People in tactical gears sent out to intimidate a community that is already on edge. But you see, as we speak, people are still in line. People waiting up 3 hours to cast their vote, to send a message to Donald Trump. No crowns, no thrones, no kings. That's what this victory represents. It's a victory for the people of the state of California and the United States of America. And this is a victory that's punctuated with a sober reminder that it's not just the actions that Donald Trump has taken to federalize our guard, to begin the process of militarizing American cities, to intimidate free expression and speech by utilizing ICE and Border Patrol in American cities. But he also announced today, right when polls were opening, that this election was rigged. That this election was rigged. Of course, those are familiar words. It's exactly what Donald Trump said after January 6th, that day of love, where he tried to light democracy on fire. He tried to wreck this country, and he called in to the Secretary of State in Georgia, calling up for 11, 12,000 votes, just like he called Greg Abbott, saying he's entitled to those 5 seats. He said this election was rigged, and he's moving to look for criminal prosecution and investigations at the Department of Justice. He is not screwing around. So tonight, I'm proud, but I'm very mindful and sober of the moment we are living in. Donald Trump does not believe in fair and free elections, period and full stop. This is not complicated, and it's self-evident to anyone paying attention. You start to stack up all of these actions that continue to this moment and will continue in moments to come. If you think I'm exaggerating, consider his announcement just a few weeks ago to send rapid response teams all across the United States, in all 50 states, tens of thousands of members of the military prepared for urban deployment. A preview of things to come. But back to this state. Our state of mind was resolute. Our state of mind was resolved to stand firm and to stand tall, to not be intimidated, to not be humiliated,
Right.
to not fall prey to cynicism, to not fall prey to fear and the anxiety of someone that believes in only one thing, shock and awe, to intimidate and exhaust us. But we're seeing all across this country, 7 million people strong, standing up, not just for themselves, but for each other and for these enduring and historic principles of our founding fathers. And I'll end on that. Next year is the 250th anniversary of the best of Roman Republic, the best of Greek democracy. This fundamental notion of a system of checks and balances.
Right.
Of popular sovereignty. The rule of law. Mr. President, the rule of law, not the rule of dawn. And I hope it's dawning on people. The sobriety of this moment. What's at stake? Tonight, as I said, is an extraordinary moment for our party. But again, it's an extraordinary moment affirming those principles. Our founding fathers did not live and die to see the kind of vandalism to this republic and our democracy that Donald Trump is trying to perpetuate.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so my call tonight, in the spirit of Whitman, we talked about the powerful play goes on. We all must contribute a verse. And so we need the state of Virginia. We need the state of Maryland. We need our friends in New York, in Illinois, in Colorado. We need to see other states with the remarkable leaders that have been doing remarkable things meet this moment head on as well, to recognize what we're up against in 2026. And let me make this crystal clear. We can de facto end Donald Trump's presidency as we know it the minute Speaker Jeffries gets sworn in as Speaker of the House of Representatives. It is all on the line, a
Right.
bright line in
Right.
2026.
Right.
And so I want to thank everybody that stood up, not just for our democracy, but stood up for those that have feel bullied and intimidated.
Right.
Stood up for this notion of co-equal branches of government and a system of checks and balances. And I want to thank my wife, who reminds me every single day that this is about those that feel alone, those that feel isolated, those that feel an anxiety and a stress that they never could have imagined in their lives. This was about saying to them, we have your back, we see you, you matter, we care. And I'll just say this, I'm confident as we move forward into 2026 in this country, the best is yet to come. Thank you very much.
Okay, you have been listening to Governor Gavin Newsom address the media there, talking about Prop 50 passing here in California, but also saying, okay, now I'm looking to some of the other states as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He looked like he running for president to me. Okay, he looked like he running for president to me. That's what he looked like. I could be wrong. But he looked like he running for president to me. And it is what it is. Okay. Anything is better than what's going on right now. Okay. Anything is better than what's going on right now. The whole point is I need to know what the stats are. It's okay that we won New York, New Jersey, we won all of those. But what we need to know is the margins, right? We need to know how many independent people voted for Donald Trump. How many Mexican people changed their mind and voted for Trump. We need to know those numbers. We need to know how much of a swing went back to Democrats. Who stayed home? Who didn't or who didn't? I'm happy that you voted for Trump. I'm happy. Hey, somebody got to go down with the ship. You might as well be you know. That's what I'm saying. I want to hear about the exit polls. You know, I want to hear what kind of exit polls are going on with New York and Virginia, New Jersey. Exit polls. See what the hell. Okay, it says exit polling. Okay. Wow. Exit polling on how exit polling, they really didn't like, voters disapproved of Trump in New Jersey, Virginia, California. They focused on taxes and the economy. Well, we really won't know all of the exit polling until tomorrow. We really won't know any of that until tomorrow, right? We won't know too much of that until then. So we got to wait until tomorrow. I guess we got to wait until some good, all the data is in. But I want to know who, what, when, where, why. Whether it was a whole change in system. I just want to know whether the Mexican people got the memo. Did anybody get the memo? Okay? Did we get the memo? MAGAs, you lost tonight. You're going to lose for the next couple of years. Just be happy because you know you don't have any policy. You notice that the Republicans got into power and they didn't have any policies. I haven't seen a policy yet by any of the Republicans, what they were supposed to do for the American people. I wanted somebody to put it in the chat. What did the Republicans do for people making $30,000 to $150,000? We never got anybody, and we never figured out what did he do for us people that make between that money. Okay. Yes, that's the whole thing. If you notice, if you go through all the races, all of the races that happened tonight, there's been one theme. The theme has been that they're tired of the hate. I told you all at the beginning, Republicans come in with a hate. We hate the gays, we hate the trans, we hate the blacks, we hate the immigrants, we hate all of those things. But they never come in with no policies. They never come with policies because they don't know how to govern. They only know how to strike up the culture wars. That's all they come in and do is talk about the culture. You guys like gay people. You guys like trans people. You guys like the immigrants. You guys trying to get the immigrants Medicaid. You guys care about the immigrants more than America. That's all the Republicans have on this whole thing. We cannot live on hate. We cannot live on you saying hate. We hate the gays, trans, immigrants. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. We need solutions out here. We need people that are going to talk about our pocketbook, how we get more money in our pocket, how we get more gas prices down, how we get air prices down, how we get food prices down. Nobody wants to talk about T-Smoke. Everybody says that. The Democrats and the Republicans are the same thing. The difference is the Republicans do this, the Democrats are the same, except the Republicans are for the rich people and the Democrats are for the poor people. That's the difference. They can do two things at one time. They can be corporate animals, but the Democrats care about the poor folks. The Republicans don't. That's the difference. That's the difference. Okay? It's the difference. The Republicans don't give a damn about the poor people, because otherwise we wouldn't be having an argument over fucking food stamps. We wouldn't be having an argument over why did you send money to Argentina, but you didn't give food stamp money to the poor people. Okay? And that's the whole thing. If you don't know the difference between the parties, I can't help you. Okay? I can't help you. And if you don't do enough research to figure it out, I still can't help you. I am still looking to find out what the Republicans believe in, what they stand on. I'm a Democrat. I'm in the middle Democrat, almost independent, but mostly Democrat. I believe in helping the poor, the indigent, the poor, the homeless, veterans, elderly, and poor children, and disabled. I believe in doing those things. The Republican Party is the only party that talks about helping those people. I don't ever hear the Republicans talking about helping those people. So therefore, I'm never going to vote for a Republican because they don't care about helping those people. Now tell me that I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. What do the Republicans stand for that a regular, ordinary individual would vote for? Why would a regular, poor individual vote for a Republican? The only way you would vote for a Republican and you're a poor individual is that you don't understand politics and you vote against your own interests and you're just stuck. No, you're a zombie. That's all. You're a zombie. Because the Republicans don't care shit about medical. They just cut your medical. They just cut your medical. They just cut the medical to give the rich people tax breaks. They don't care about the poor people. They never did. And that's your problem, T-Smoke. You're uninformed, okay? You're just uninformed. It is what it is. We got plenty of zombies in there. You just are right along with the rest of the zombies. That's all. That's all. No, we're not talking about that Jessica and staff team. None of that garbage. You see, they're going to bring the KKK shit in there. We already explained the KKK shit. When the Civil Rights Bill came about, the KKK broke up with the Democrats. When the Civil Rights Bill passed, the KKK broke up with the Democrats. Because the Democrats went along with the Civil Rights Bill, the KKK broke up with the blacks. Of course I'm a liar. Of course I am, 22 Church. Of course I am. Of course I'm a liar. Of course. And I always say, and don't I always say, y'all, put your information in the chat. Put your proof in the chat. I haven't seen any proof in the chat yet. Have you put any proof in the chat? I ain't seen none, but I'm the liar, right? I'm so sick of it. Okay? I'm so sick of it. They don't have it. There's nothing. Y'all wild. Y'all wild. I swear. Y'all can't come. You can't tell me that I'm lying. You can't tell me nothing. You just be talking. We can't debate that. Because you don't just wild.
Authenticity in any candidates or certainly Democratic leaders that step up in this moment, because I think that Mamdani has set a standard.
We don't even know what you're talking about.
And you've either got to meet it or
nobody knows what you're talking about. Smoke. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Nobody's going off of TV or anything like that. Nobody said any kind of facts like that. You just wild. You're the one that's stating facts and ain't got nothing to prove or got no backup for it. Wow.
beat it in order to get this kind of groundswell to propel this movement forward. And the movement is huge. I mean, let's not forget, Donald Trump tells us how popular he is, but he really isn't that popular. He does not represent the majority of Americans. His views and also the kind of far-right nationalists that he associates with are very much the minority.
Hold on. Hold on, here it comes.
Call from
Ty Pro.
To accept, press.
Hey, Ty Pro. Hello.
Good evening, HQ.
Can you all hear Ty Pro? Can you hear him in the chat? Can y'all hear him in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear Ty Pro.
Congratulations to all the blue states winning.
Yes, in Detroit, we got a girl up there. Okay, Detroit, first black mayor. Okay,
first woman mayor.
Yes,
and she's a black woman.
Yes.
But okay, so everybody can see me. You know, I cannot stand this misguided information about the Ku Klux Klan being Democrats and that Republicans fought to end slavery. First of all, nobody fought for us to end slavery. Slaves fought to end slavery. That's the very first thing everybody needs to know. Slaves fought to end slavery. It wasn't even a thought to abolish slavery until they seen how many black people was willing to fight for the North. That was an afterthought. It wasn't even the main reason, but people just don't know history. So I just really wanted to call in and because this talking point is so annoying and it's just a little too much to just be typing in the chat.
Okay.
So I got first of all, the people that are Republican and the people that are Democrat today are not the same parties that they were in these historical times.
Mhm.
Democrats and Republicans did not have the same views throughout history. They weren't the same people from the very inception of being a Democrat or Republican.
Mhm.
You got to be fucking stupid to think that hasn't changed. That's one. For two, the party of the Confederacy today, HQ, I'm gonna ask you, I want to ask everybody in the chat, the party of the Confederacy, the people who fly Confederate flags in trailer parks in West Virginia to this day, in 2025, the people that are flying Confederate flags, do you think they vote Democrat or Republican?
Y'all put it in the chat.
Do you think that people who are flying Confederate flags in 2025, do you think they vote Democrat or Republican? Do you think that they voted for Trump or Kamala? The people that fly Confederate flags today in 2025, do you think that they are Democrat or Republican? And that will prove my point that the Democrats and Republicans have switched based on whatever party affiliations that they was going on.
Right.
So yes, I will give you that the Confederacy was a Democratic party during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln was in the Republican Party. But all of that switched before civil rights became a thing, before segregation and integration became a thing. The Ku Klux Klan was a very small thing, and it did not start during the Civil War. It started after the Civil War during Reconstruction, right? The Ku Klux Klan was a very small party group of people during Reconstruction after the Civil War.
Okay.
All right, let me break this down slow because they just so, I just really want to delete this talking point from your chat because we hear it so much.
Okay.
The KKK was not a formal arm of the Democrat Party. The KKK was not a part of the Democratic Party, but it aligned with Southern Democrats who at the time were Confederates.
Right.
So today in 2025, those would not be Democrats. So saying that the Republicans ended slavery and the Democrats started Ku Klux Klan is disingenuous.
Right.
Because you have to acknowledge that the people who fly Confederate flags are not voting Democrat. They did not vote for Kamala. They did not just vote for the new mayor and the new governor of New York.
Right.
These are not the Democrats of the Civil War and Reconstruction are not the Democrats of 2025.
Right.
The Confederacy is not a Democratic Party today. So you got to stop saying that dumb ass shit. You just sound like they sound like they got their fucking history from a box of cereal in the morning. They eating their cereal and they didn't read a damn fucking historical fact and now they running with it. You sound so low intelligent and low IQ every time you say Republicans freed the slaves and Democrats was Ku Klux Klan. You sound like you missing tooth and you fuck your fucking sister. That is some dumb ass shit to say. You got Google, Grok, ChatGPT.
Right.
Motherfucker, get a book. Anything you want to do to disprove that dumb low IQ bullshit. Oh my God, I'm sorry, HQ.
That's okay.
Everything that was going on tonight, that was just the dumbest shit I heard in the chat. And they always say it in the chat.
And they never do no research. Why you don't do no research? Why y'all don't come? They hear a talking point and then they just run with the talking point, never do no research on it. Okay, I understand if you mess up every once in a while, but y'all continuously say the wrong stuff and state it like it's fact. That's wild to me. and then be mad when you say the truth to them. Call you a liar 2 minutes after you get done telling them the truth. They say, liar? Like, really? Like, you really just you saying bullshit. Ain't got no understanding of nothing. You just talking, right? And that's what I don't like. I hate the zombie mentality. Just look stuff up.
Zombie mentality is perfect. They're the walking fucking dead. I'm convinced that most of these type of people that say that shit live in a trailer park. They think reading is the devil, biology is the devil. They think everything is the fucking devil besides the goddamn meth that they smoking. Because that is some dumb shit to say. Like, you just prove how fucking, like, all you do is be on Truth Social all day. So I encourage everybody, if you think that Republicans freed the slaves and Democrats started the Klan, please don't use that as a talking point of Republicans are not racist and Democrats are the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
Because you got to remember, this is going to be your fail-safe. Since you motherfuckers are slow and probably can't tie your own shoe, this is the one thing that will help you check your dumb ass self. Do you think that the people that fly the Confederate flag in 2025 vote Democrat or Republican? That alone will let you know that what you're talking about is fucking stupid, because the Confederacy was the Democrats during the Civil War. That's all you gotta know. That's it. That's checkmate on yourself. But thank you, HQ. I'm gonna let you get back to yourself.
Thank you. Yes.
Bye-bye.
The KKK was not started by the Democrats. They just aligned with the Democrats in the South. Because the Democratic Party was the party of the South, and they opposed Reconstruction policies led by the Republican Party, Abraham Lincoln. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me type this shit in so I can make sure I got this shit right, because I could fucking be wrong. Okay. The Ku Klux Klan was founded in 1865 in Tennessee by Confederate veterans of the Civil War. It is true that in its earliest years, the Klan members often identified as Southern Democrats because the Democratic Party was opposing Reconstruction led by Republican parties of Abraham Lincoln. However, it's important to understand the political party's ideology shifted. 1860s to 1870s, the Democratic Party largely represented the interest of the former Confederacy and white Southerners who opposed rights for freed Black Americans. Some of these individuals supported or were members of the KKK, which used violence to intimidate Black voters. 20th century, during the Civil Rights era, many segregationist Southern Democrats called Dixiecrats opposed civil rights. But as the Democratic Party began to embrace civil rights and racial equality, these Southern Democrats floated to the Republican Party. Today, the modern Democratic Party and the Republican Party are ideologically opposed to what they did during Reconstruction. Okay. Yes, some of the KKK's original members were affiliated with Democrats, but the Democratic Party had already been formed before the KKK came along. The party's values and membership base have completely changed since then. So you notice it said some of the KK original members were affiliated with the Democratic Party. Not that the Democratic Party was started by the KKK members. Goofies. So stop saying that. So we have to understand that it's wild. Sometimes they don't even understand, but that's okay. Don't for me. So what if Biden said that? So what? I'm tired of that talking point too. So what? Biden has done more for black people than most presidents ever. Okay? If you look at his policies has done a lot for black folks. Stop it. Y'all wild. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see what they talking about, and then we'll wrap it up. Let me see what they talking about. I want to hear this last thing right here. Okay. Because they always talking not lie. Midas Touch always talking.
And the issue here we have a guy who's unapologetically Muslim, and the thing is, it's not just an issue with Christian Republicans, it's also an issue with Jewish Democrats. And let's face it, those have been the Democrats who have not supported, a lot of them who have not supported Mamdani have been Jewish Democrats. And that is a Muslim Jewish thing, that is it's a religious division. Mm-hmm. And as far as the Christian right goes, look, they don't view the Muslim religion as a legitimate religion. They don't view it as a peaceful religion. They don't view it as a religion of love. They view it as a dark, terrible thing, as a bad thing, as something that, in other words, they don't just look at it as like it's another religion. No, they don't look at it that way. They look at it as a source of evil in the world.
Right.
So when he says I'm a Muslim, they view it. A lot of Republican, rural voters, white
Listen
voters,
to him.
They view that as he's a bad guy. He's against God. He's against Jesus. And so it goes.
That's what half the goofy people came in here and said. He's bad. He's not really he's evil. X, Y, and Z. Because they afraid of new stuff. Afraid of new religion. Afraid of X, Y, and Z. That's wild to me. But then that's how they think. That Ramaswamy should have known. Don't be going over there with them Turning Point USA folk. Them Turning Point USA folk ain't trying to hear nothing about no Hindi, Muslim. Especially in motherfucking Ohio.
Goes that much to the core of this, but I think that obviously, there's no place in the Republican Party for Muslims. There's not. They don't hide that fact. And so I think that this is a great opportunity for somebody who's young, well-spoken, good-looking, scandal-free, largely, except for some things he said in the past that he's disavowed. And I think this is a great opportunity to expand the tent here and embrace it. And we know what Fox News is going to do. Right. This guy's going to be on Fox News more than Trump.
Yep.
They're going to make him the poster child of Fox News.
Yeah.
So
they're going to try to I guarantee you tomorrow, the Republicans going to come out and say, we just elected a Muslim. Y'all better be afraid of the Muslim. The Democratic Party is going to the left. They're going towards Marxism. They're going towards socialism. They're going towards Muslim. Watch. I guarantee you tomorrow, Trump and all of his cronies going to be out there talking about the Democrats is Muslim, Marxist, socialist, Hindu. They're going to be saying wild shit like that tomorrow. I guarantee you, I bet anybody money. The first 5 people that come out, one of them going to say something crazy about some Marxist, socialist, Hindu, Muslim. Watch them say some shit. I know. They be wild with that shit. Just saying random shit for no reason. Knowing full well ain't nobody no damn Muslims or ain't nobody no damn Hindu or no Marxist or anything like that. Other than the guy who said he's a Hindu or Muslim. That watch, I guarantee you, The first 5 people you see, or that's Republican, one of them gonna say something about Marxist, socialist, Antifa. They're gonna say something wild like that. Watch. Just crazy. For no reason. I guarantee you, I can put money on it right now. The first 5 Republicans that you meet, one of them gonna say something about, oh, they elect Mondami. Mondami is he's a socialist. Now they gonna embrace the left. Them Democrats gonna embrace that Marxist, that socialist, that Antifa. They gonna embrace that. Mondami is the head of the party now. Watch him say some crazy shit like that. Watch. They can call me whatever they like. Zombies don't matter. Zombies only open their mouth and walk forward and chew on all the shit people give them. Zombies don't bother me, Jess. Don't worry about it. But my whole point is this. I hope Kamala don't run. I don't want you to run. I want it to be a clean-cut white boy. That's what we need. Because we need to turn this country around. And we don't need the politics of division that Kamala will bring. We need a clean-cut white boy that is going to be straight with the facts. They ain't got nothing to say about him. They can't pull him down in the dirt with him. We need a straight white boy. Because the straight white boy is going to win. J.D. Vance can't win because he likes for his underwear to be shopped with a hole in the back. So we ain't finna vote for him. So it is. Yeah, Jon Stewart would be cool too. If he knew the facts, if he knew the policies and shit like that. Yes, I said a clean-cut white boy, because that's the only one that's gonna win. In this political culture, it's the only one that's gonna win. Damn sure a black female ain't gonna win. Damn sure not. And a female or a black female ain't gonna win. It just ain't gonna happen. Okay, so and a black male ain't gonna win because they don't want another Obama. So it has to be a clean-cut white boy. Yeah, and that's cool. No, it ain't gonna be no gay white boy because the men ain't gonna vote for no gay white boy. That ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna let that happen. Okay, I wish it wasn't the case, but it is what it. I'm just trying to look at 2028. I'm looking at it realistically. Hillary Clinton was more qualified than any man that has come after her in any of these presidential elections. She was more qualified than any man that came after her. She was more qualified than Barack Obama. She was more qualified than Biden. She was more qualified than Trump. She was more qualified than Kamala. And nobody wanted her. So nobody wanted her. You didn't want the most qualified woman on the planet to run this country. So I'm pretty sure you don't want no other woman. Okay? So we need a clean-cut white boy. She was much smarter at everything than any guy that came out. Hillary had been studying politics since she was a kid. She knew all the ins and outs. She knew more than Barack Obama. Oh, most definitely she knew. No, hell no. Too bad. Betty, too bad. He ain't here no more. So we ain't got to worry about him. Put him back into the grave where he was. Put him back where he was because he's irrelevant now. He's irrelevant. He's not gonna vote. He's not gonna go. We ain't gonna even think about it. Ain't even gonna think about it. I would love a woman president, but they're not going to give a woman president. They're not gonna give her they're not gonna give her a chance. Because there's too many men out here who are misogynistic. And you already know that the Christian nationalist men are not gonna vote for her. So I'm just saying we need a clean-cut white boy. It just is what it is. That's what we need. We need a clean-cut white boy that ain't got no scandal to him and who knows how to stay on point, who knows how to speak. Okay? And ain't got no gay rumors in they past like J.D. Vance. That's all I'm saying. We need a clean-cut white boy. So that's what I'm, you know who I thought? If y'all looked at for his name was Beto O'Rourke. He's in Texas. Beto O'Rourke. Beto. B-E-T-O O'Rourke. He was a clean-cut white boy. I think he would win. I think he would do it. He knows how to speak Spanish. Young family. Knows how to run. Can speak. Articulate all the ideas. Cares about people, poor, children, immigrants. Knows how to speak to people. Knows all of that stuff. And he belongs in Texas, which means he could probably bring Texas with him. Right? But then that would just be my choice. So it is what it is. But we don't know. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
So that's why I'm rooting for him. I want him to be successful. I want him to prove the racist.
None of us like who?
And the bigots wrong.
And he can do that. I mean, he went on Fox recently and he absolutely nailed it. And this is what's important, is not being frightened.
Yeah, Newsom is, Newsom is, but, is he starting out with negatives? You know what I'm saying? Is Newsom starting out with negative? Hey, that's all y'all got to do is give me like $5,000 every month. And I'll be on here talking 2-point crazy every day about Democrats. I need $5,000 a month. I take $5,000. I take minimum $5,000 a month. And I'll be on here every day, all day, talking about Democrats until it's time to vote. He should have run during Biden's term. Yeah, I know. But I'm still, he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. So he's a good guy. So I don't know how, but we don't have anybody. We don't need no old men. We done with you old motherfuckers. You old motherfuckers run everything. We tired of y'all running everything. Y'all running our country into the ground. We need some fresh ideas, fresh people to come in, young people that's like 40s and 50s who got an idea, who's smart, who's intelligent, who knows how to get us out of this mess, who knows how to get our debt paid, who knows how to get these programs online, who knows how to do all these things. Okay. So this is what we need, right? That's the way I look at it. We need smart people with smart ideas who can get us out of this trouble. That's what we need. We need smart ideas. We need smart people. We need smart, fresh ideas. Young people, not young, but 40s and 50s and 60s who can get us out of debt, who knows how to save Social Security and disability, and who knows how to save all of those programs, who has an idea how to do it, who knows how to, strengthen our positions around here, help our farmers, raise minimum wage. We need smart people to get in charge. Okay. I didn't say young people. I said younger, like 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay. We need, that's what we need. I'm looking around. Hey, if the person looks like they got the credentials, hopefully they don't have any scandals in their past, this is the person that we need to be supporting as Democrat. You don't have to be a Democrat. You just need to watch out for the person's background and what they say. Are they for the middle class people? Are they trying to help the middle class folks? Are they trying to do things for other people besides the rich? Okay. Yeah. And he won't get caught up in big corporate. Yeah. We need a person that is looking at the middle class and saying, I want to help fix this. I want to get us out of debt, help with these social programs if they need to be eliminated or they need to shave down, figure out how to save Social Security for our older folks, our disabled, see what we can do about helping the homeless. Can we do some kind of retraining? Can we do whatever? We need people who can come. And we got smart people in this country. We need smart people on this, on top of this kind of stuff. That's the kind of administration I want to see next. Somebody that's a problem-solving government, not just one that takes the money. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. A problem-solving government. Okay? And a person that will buckle down and help the regular man, between the regular people that make between 30 and 150,000. That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's what I want to see. Somebody that's willing to help us and not the corporations.
To step outside of those compartments that the media like to put you in. And he's much smarter than any host at Fox. He really is. And he can outsmart people. He can bring cut through the noise with the truth.
Hey, hey. I ain't saying that word. But, hey, I ain't saying that word. I hear what you're saying, Zuba. But we need to start looking for a candidate that's going to do the things for us. We need help. Okay.
And that's what I'm looking forward to, because you have to remember that the viewers of Fox, including Donald Trump, who's one of them, they have been listening to lies for 20 or, since Roger Ailes, right? So it's 25 years. So they've just been brainwashed with these lies about who Democrats are. And I think that Mamdani might be the first Democrat that has the confidence to step up and actually deconstruct those lies one at a time on a far-right network such as Fox. And you simply have to do it, because they can't cut you off. It's not like when they're showing a Trump speech and Trump's being crazy and they end up just like cutting away from it and going, okay, well, yeah, we'll come back to that later, and they never do.
Right.
If they've got Mamdani there in the studio, they are going to engage with him. And this is the new left. The idea that we're done with the lies now. It's enough already.
Right.
And I really feel like he's the man to move this movement, as you say, nationally forward. That's why this mayoral election was so important. It's not just about New York.
Right.
It is giving the movement the confidence.
Yeah, brainwashed. You guys are brainwashed because every time y'all walk into a room, it's always about the Democrats being demons. The Democrats, not X, Y, and Z. Most of the stuff we already have is socialism. Y'all don't have any ideas. You Republicans don't have any ideas. You don't know how to govern. You don't want to govern. You just want to have power. Okay? We're talking about governing. We're not talking about, like I said, Democrats, they run to a room. Republicans come into a room, and the first thing they say is that we're the ones who have violent rhetoric. They're always talking about us having violent rhetoric. And it's always them who have violent rhetoric. He came in the door and said Democrats are demonic. Always got violent rhetoric. Never talk about anything positive. Okay, did everybody hit the button? Did we subscribe to the channel? I appreciate you all subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all of you coming and listening to the content. And it was election night. It's been an amazing night. I appreciate all of you, but I gotta go. Of course I gotta go. I gotta lay down and sleep. Then I gotta get up and do some other things. I gotta figure out how I can get paid to shield for the Democratic Party, like $5,000 a month. I do this full time. If I could get paid $5,000 a month, I would do this full time. But hey, ain't nobody came along and tried to give me no money. So it is what it is. We're going to do what we got to do. So please subscribe, hit the like button, and don't be trying to spam my channel, because y'all act like we grown adults. Every time I turn around, somebody trying to spam my channel. But I appreciate you all coming back. We will be back here tomorrow at 10 o'clock with new content, doing some things, trying to figure out how the world is taking the wins from the Democrats. I know it's only the Republicans paying the YouTubers. I know they only paying the Republican YouTubers. I know. That's the problem with Democrats. They don't want to pay nobody no money. If they would pay somebody some money, they'd have more people talking for them, but they don't want to do that. But it is what it is. I appreciate all of y'all. Please hit the like, subscribe, share. We're trying to do some things over here. You know, you may not like what you hear, but it's going to be honest at least. I'm going to try to be at least as honest as I can. I appreciate you all showing up tonight. Hit the like and the share and the subscribe. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate